today, the gorgeous new Jaguar F-Type Coupe R and a junky Mazda that became an internet sensation. That's all today. It's Drive on NBC Sports. The Jaguar F-Type convertible won hearts and minds the world over. It's moved into the pricing neighbourhood of the Porsche 911, a car that's exceptional to drive, but its looks haven't surprised anyone in about 5 decades. Now, Jaguar has released the 550 horsepower F-Type Coupe. When it made its auto show debut as a convertible, the world dropped its collective jaw. Not since the legendary E-Type has Jaguar delivered a car that combined looks and performance in such a good-looking package. No mucking about, it's one of the best-looking cars ever. But what's it like to drive?
This is the new Jaguar F-Type Coupe, and if it's half as good to drive as it is to look at, then Porsche might be in some serious trouble.
The F-Type Coupe is a profoundly attractive car. So attractive that the numbers which support it might not matter, even when it has to tackle something like a Porsche 911. Jag has given the Coupe R version the double cream 550 horsepower supercharged V8 from the XK-RS, and here it has 501 foot-pounds.
But what about the cabin? What about the innards? Well, overall, probably not quite as successful, and I'll tell you why. Jaguar are getting better, but some of the materials are still a little bit low rent. This sort of vinyl-y stuff on the bottom of the glove box is ultimately foul. The fake sort of carbon look, I don't know what it is, like a machined plastic surface around here, that's not too clever. So if you ask yourself, why is this car such good value? How can it offer 500 horsepower in a beautiful package for so much less than a 911? It can do it because they save money on the interior. But does that mean it's a nasty place to sit? No, the H point is right. I sit nice and low, the driving position is good, the seat is supportive. All in all, it's a pleasant place to sit, but it doesn't quite sit with the expectations of that amazing exterior. And let's face it, that amazing ass. But I mustn't get too distracted by that amazing ass. Or is it arse or is it bottom? Let's call it a bottom from now on. It's a great bottom though, isn't it? But if you press this button, this little gold button here, something good happens. 550 horsepower, a naughty exhaust, 500 foot-pounds of torque, 1,650 kilograms. It's a great recipe, isn't it? And it's got a roof. The F-Type Coupe R, or is that the F-Type R Coupe? I'm not sure. Is a really good road car. We'll drive it on the circuit later on, but on the road, it's got a really nice balance. Do you immediately notice the extra stiffness in the structure over the Roadster? Yes, it's noticeable, but it's not night and day. I'd want to drive them back to back to really feel it. Do you notice the extra power? A little bit, but again, the torque figures of the two cars are quite close, so it just feels incrementally a bit faster. It's not night and day by any means. Does that mean it's a very fast car? Yes, it does. It's old school as well. Two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive with an electronic locking differential, which can, on the circuit and even on the road, overheat a bit and open itself up, which is probably a small fault of the car. Transmission, 8-speed ZF. I'll bore you again on the track about how good that is, but on the road, wow. You can pull a paddle, metal this time, very nice, or you can just leave it in drive and it's just responsive and seems to know exactly what you want when you want it. Steering, nicely judged. For me, the nicest steering Jaguar's produced on a sports car, certainly in the time I've been testing. And the noise, well, the noise is kind of crazy. And I've got it in the quiet exhaust mode at the moment. If I press this button here now, and we go to noisy exhaust, get a load of this. Pops and bangs and woofles and all the other stuff going on. It's a great big load of theatre. And where I think Jaguar have been really clever with this car is they have not got too hung up on trying to beat that Porsche product. This car drives brilliantly, dynamically. It's well suited to all types of roads. It'll ride bumps, even though the ride is quite busy, it'll ride bumps absolutely fine. It's a comfortable sporting GT car, but they've remembered that people that buy these cars want to be titillated, they want theatre, they want some noise, they want to feel special. And you just grin when you drive this thing. You really just grin. As always with these modern performance cars, there are different settings for your chassis and other bits and bobs. You can sharpen the throttle and the dampers on the dynamic mode. I don't bother on the street, I just don't see any point whatsoever. On the circuit, it might be different. There are two different settings for the traction control and stability as well. You can either have it halfway in a track mode, or you can have it completely off. I quite like it off on the road because the car is so predictable and it'll just squiggle coming out of second and third gear turns. It certainly has a distinct hot rod flavour to it. It doesn't feel to me like an out-and-out sports car, even though it is very responsive and the nose turns really nicely and there's not too much understeer. Of course, these modern cars have got so much tyre, if you get to understeer on the road, you're going to fall off and hurt yourself and someone else probably. But I would say that it's got a sort of a little Mopar feel to it, you know? It just feels like a bit of a muscle car. I make the comparison with an SLS. It feels a similar sort of character and personality. And that's a big compliment from me. I think it's a good thing. Engine choices, well, I'm just in this V8 version. There's a lesser powered V6 and everyone says, oh, maybe it's a bit sweeter and a bit lighter. Do you know what? I say balls to that. If you're going to have an F-Type Coupe, get the big one with the massive engine and lay black lines everywhere. No, this is a car to enjoy. And on long journeys, comfortable. There's a little bit of wind noise coming off the wing mirror and the A-pillar, but you can just sit back, munch your way through a country and enjoy yourself. Best Jaguar sports car I've driven by miles. But however much I enjoy driving it, I can't stop thinking about that bottom. So let's get away from the bottom and go to the circuit. This for Jaguar is, dare I say it, a whole new thing.